Welcome back to the Blue North. Today I'm talking about the Emergencies Act. Justin Trudeau has enacted the Emergencies Act here in Canada. On what grounds did he do it and what powers does it give him is what we're going to cover today. I personally don't think that Justin Trudeau needed to invoke it. I don't think there was any reason for the Emergencies Act being used here. There's the Convoy, the Freedom Convoy has done nothing but act classy. There's been no violence. There has been no questionable people involved with it, even though that they're trying to say there is. There's really no proof of that. There was a couple of flags that people had flown. The truckers themselves had dealt with it. The garbage isn't all over the place. They haven't made a mess. There's been no fires. There's been no destruction. There's been no violence. There's been, just I think the whole world is watching, and these truckers know it. And I think that in order for them to be taken seriously, I think that they needed to act as they have. Jordan Peterson has talked about the successes of the convoy. He said that they managed to get Aaron O'Toole removed from the Conservative Party, which I guess maybe played part in it. He looked really weak. He looked like he was flip-flopping on whether he was going to meet them or not. So 73% of the Conservative MPs decided that he had to go, he had to be replaced, which I think is the right choice. Now, Justin's I think he's way overstepping what his powers need to be here. So there's 4 types of emergencies. There's a public welfare, number one. I don't think that public welfare is a concern. I think after this many days of being on the protest, I don't think that all of a sudden it's going to just escalate out of hand. I think they've shown poise and maturity. I think that they've been nothing but really quite civil down there. I know a few friends of mine have gone and come back, and they've said nothing but great things about the environment, the environment. Like when you're there, it's just a great presence. Everybody's there enjoying it, happy. So it's not a public welfare issue. The public order, well, it is a protest, and they are taking up space, and they said that they are going to stay. So maybe I could see that maybe that Justin Trudeau is using it as a public order, but the no different than any other protest that the Indigenous or Black Lives Matter or any other person would conduct. They are going to take up public space, and I don't think that that was enough reason to invoke this. International or war are the other 2 reasons, and of course that's not the case in either of those instances. So now the Canadian Security Intelligence Service Act must be used to come up with some sort of an excuse under one of their areas. Espionage and sabotage, that's not it. Then foreign influence, no. Threats to serious violence for political, religious, or for an ideal, no, that's not happening. Covert unlawful acts intended to undermine or overthrow an established government. They are calling for the resignation for Justin to do the right thing and resign. They, in their mind, I'm not saying he has to. I wish he would. However, they're calling for him to resign. They're not trying to overthrow. So none of those line up. None of those are reason enough to invoke it. So what are the powers that Justin could use? What are some of the things that might be the reason why he has enacted it? And here we see maybe where he is preparing himself just in case things get out of hand further. However, I think if he would have done his job and met with the truckers sooner and maybe listened to them and maybe opened up a discourse with them back and forth, we wouldn't have had these problems and you wouldn't need this act. So he could bar travel to and from specific places, say like the Windsor Bridge or the Parliament area. He could ban Parliament. He could ban borders. He could order the evacuation from areas, and he could render services, essential services. He could actually get tow trucks to go down there and start towing these vehicles. So I think that maybe he's he's trying to prepare for the worst case scenario. But I think that if he would have been more open at the beginning, instead of when he got this notion that he said, oh, I was near someone with COVID and now I have to isolate for 5 days. No, you don't. You don't have any symptoms. And Health Services Canada has said that if you don't have any, you just have to monitor. If you don't have any symptoms, you just have to monitor yourself. You do not have to isolate. So there's absolutely no reason why Justin Trudeau was avoiding these truckers and avoiding actually going and meeting with them, and upon their arrival being there to listen to them and have that open avenue to which they could maybe just voice their opinion without being dug in so much. So there's I don't see anything available that Justin Trudeau could be using as reason to need the Emergencies Act. He did have to go through Doug Ford in order to invoke the Emergencies Act. You do need the permission of the Premier of the province to which you are looking to invoke it. Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, gave his permission. I don't think that was a good choice for Doug. Maybe just complying in order to let Justin do his thing, because it's more of a federal issue than it is provincial, but it's something he should have maybe considered a little bit longer than he did. I'm not really, I guess I could play the devil's advocate and say that it was to hand it off to Trudeau. I could say that Trudeau's trying to be prepared for any case, in any case, so that he's not waiting to invoke this, that it's already invoked and he's ready to go in case things do get out of hand. But I'm going to say that the truckers have already showed their hand. They're already saying that they're staying there, they're dug in, and this is what they want. They've already said what they want. It's not like they're changing their demands as they go. It's not like they're causing a big problem other than the fact that they are congesting an area. The truckers have been showing nothing but class. They did work with the mayor of Ottawa to move out of some residential areas, because I could see that being a bit of an issue for a parent, a little bit nervous with all the strangers in the neighborhood who could sneak in, there's all kinds of safety issues that could come up as far as a parent, not safety issues as invoking the Emergencies Act. But I think that I think that the truckers have really showcased a lot of class here. I think what they're wanting has started to actually come to fruition a little bit with some of these mandates coming down, and like I said, Aaron O'Toole being removed from the Conservative Party. I think it was his flip-flopping that was really the final nail in the coffin for that position for him. So if you have comments, if you think that maybe Justin was justified in using the Emergency Act, leave your comments below. Me personally, I think that this is overreaching. I think that it goes beyond being prepared. I think if he was really hoping to be prepared, he should have maybe met with them instead of hid from them. And I think that having an open discourse with them back and forth, having a channel for which they can communicate with you and back is going to be the key to this. Maybe listening, coming to a compromise on a few things. And I think that that's the best way that this is going to be resolved. Definitely has the world's attention. And really, I think that this is, whether you agree with the protest or not, I think that the way that they've conducted themselves has been nothing but classy. I think that they have done what they've really set out to do. And my hat's off to the Freedom Convoy truckers, everybody involved, and to the organizers who have really presented the world with a classy protest. So stay tuned for more on this right here on the Blue North.